don't call me Jiggy when I'm home, they call me Snowman. Yeah. We ain't never home, but treat the city like the base. Yeah, you know where to look if you're looking for the wave. Yeah, looking for the.
Welcome to another episode of EuroSteppin podcast, where we get the real talk for players that played all around Europe. I'm your host, Big Dave Dixon, here along with my co-host.
Al Snow, how y'all living?
I see Snow, it's an important day. I see you threw up your Black Power fist over there, you know what I'm saying? You're trying to I hope you got your vote on. I hope your man that you want win. I hope everything goes right for you guys here in America.
Yeah.
Especially for our guest, because he's in the heart of everything right now. We got a good one today, Snow. A guy that's been all around Europe, played on a lot of big teams. Played on a lot of big teams. Had a lot of accomplishments. First, let's start off. He was the ACC All-Defensive Team. Second team All-ACC. He was the Turkish Super League All-Star. Spanish League Slam Dunk Champion. Serbian Cup MVP. The Serbian Cup winner. Serbian League Champion. ABA League Champion. Four-time Greek All-Star Game. Six-time Greek Basketball Cup winner. And a five-time Greek Basketball League champion. We want to welcome to the show today, James Gist. Thanks, James, man. Appreciate you being on the show, man. You know, thanks for giving us the opportunity to interview one of the European legends that's played in Europe.
Sure. Thank you for having me, man. I appreciate taking this time to, be able to allow me to come on your show, speak to you guys, and enjoy this time.
James, I really want to just jump into you, man, because you're really one of the more intriguing guests to me. You kind of have done it all. You won everywhere. You done. So I really want to just jump in, man. Can you tell us a little bit about your experience from getting drafted to, spending time in a bunch of places? Just talk about the beginnings of your career and how that all played out.
I mean, it's interesting, because how it played out wasn't exactly how I thought it was going to go. I had my mind set on the NBA, going through college. I didn't know how I was going to get there. Even going through high school, I never knew how I was going to get to the NBA. I didn't understand the process. My family wasn't really hip to the basketball circuit and knowing how it all works. Basketball, I was just good at it. It was something I was good at. It was fun, but I didn't know how to use the avenues to get to where you wanted to go. I had no idea about none of that. So, going to Maryland was more so for the educational part. It just came off the national championship, but, my parents was like, you go to college, you get your degree. If basketball works out, cool. If it don't, you always got your degree. So that's kind of how it was for me. That's kind of how I was brought up. And, just so happened that I was in a position to make a living playing basketball. And, leaving Maryland, getting drafted to San Antonio was crazy. I had a dream that I want to get drafted. I was like, I want to hear my name called draft night. That was my thing. I had 18 NBA workouts. I think the last workout, Boston called me back for another one, and they had like the 30th pick, the last pick of the first round. And so it was like, it was a real experience going through that whole process and understanding that, at that point in time, I was kind of at the same level as everybody else. I mean, my draft class, my high school class, let's take it back to my high school class, was Dwight Howard, 2004. Dwight Howard, Sean Livingston, J.R. Smith, Corey Brewer. The list goes on. We had one of the best high school classes ever. And, my high school class was the reason that they put the NBA age limit on the draft. I think we had like 18, 19 guys come out my year graduating high school. And then after that, next year they put the draft and the age limit said, man, you got to do 1 year out, because we had too many guys coming out of college or coming out of high school, not enough for succeeding. We got a lot of kids that's losing out on education and not making money. It's just a bad move. So that's the kind of control that they had to have after my class. Just being at that level and understanding that, I can compete with these guys. I belong, I felt like that, it was interesting to go through the process that I went through getting drafted by San Antonio. once I got there, I didn't understand that when you get drafted, you belong to the team that you're drafted to.
Yes.
Yeah.
I didn't understand that, you know, and had I understood that, you know, hindsight, they say it's 2020, maybe I'd have took the undrafted route, you know.
Yes. And I can tell
Who
you,
knows?
not to cut you off, there's a story I have, and I like to tell guys exactly what you just said. I represented a guy named Jacob Wiley who just was drafted. I mean, who on draft night, we got a call from the Nets saying they were going to take him, I think, at 57, 58. And we said, you know what? It's probably a good idea for us to leave him undrafted and then for us to be able to go negotiate with every other team out there that has interest so we can secure the best possible opportunity for the kid. So I'm telling you, this is a long-winded way of me saying I completely agree.
Yeah, and I had no idea. Again, like I said, I take it back to, you know, basketball was just something fun for me. It was something I was good at. It wasn't something I looked at to be like, it's going to take care of me for the rest of my life. I didn't even know it could do that, you know, at the time, you know. It was just something I wanted to do, something I was good at, something that, you know, people realized that I could make a living out of it. And so getting drafted, you know, for me was like a big thing. Get drafted, hear your name called, you know, that's everything. And, you know, that night, draft night was stressful as hell because, I mean, like I said, I had 18 workouts. Toronto told me that they wanted to take me in the first one of their first-round picks. I think they had 2 first-round picks, and I think they wanted to take me with the second one maybe. I think they ended up picking Jonas Valanciunas. And when they picked him, they called me immediately, called my agent, and they was like, look, we used the pick, obviously, and we got a roster spot for you, but we want you to go undrafted. That's basically what they said. They said, we want you to go undrafted, and we're going to have a spot for you. And in my mind, you know, you in the heat of the moment, you watching the draft. Meanwhile, Toronto on the phone, names are still getting called. I'm sitting here like, nah, the deal get drafted. I want to get called. You know, I want to hear my name. I'm at the crib. I didn't go to New York. I'm at the crib with the fam. You know, we all over here. My agent here. So Toronto called, going draft. I said, nah, I ain't trying to do that. So now it's like, damn, who's going to pick me now? Detroit come up. They called me, and they're like, look, we got the 36 pick or the 33 pick, I think. And they was like, we want to pick you, but we want you to go overseas for you. Hell no, I wasn't trying to do that. You know, I was just like, man, I'm trying to the league. You know, this is my dream. I did everything right. Went to school for 4 years. You know,
Right.
my education. I was hoping. You know, I was one of the better players on the team in the ACC. You know, NBA was my dream. So turned down Detroit. Next thing you know, I turned down Detroit. That's 2 teams that called and said we want to draft you, but you got to do something else. I'm just like, man, that wasn't the plan. So now I'm over here sweating. My agent over here sweating. He over here like, man, I don't know what's gonna happen. Go outside, you know, we have our conversation about, you know, what we can do or any teams that might have an interest. Next thing you know, San Antonio comes on, you know, and I hear my family go crazy inside. And they're like, oh, San Antonio, they just picked you. And I'm just like, damn, I had no idea that they wanted me. You know, I think I had a good workout there, but it wasn't nothing that was like, I know San Antonio gonna get me, you know? And so going through that whole process, you know, learning about San Antonio Spurs, learning about Greg Popovich and, you know, that organization, you know, they pick draft picks really nice, you know, based off of what they see or what they feel they can bring to the team. That's just something that they've always had a good thing of over the years. And as you can see, you know, Greg Popovich, I think, is the best coach to ever coach in the NBA, personally. But you see, you know, what the movie made with Kawhi Leonard, to bring him in, to trade George Hill out, all of that stuff. I mean, it's true. The Spurs probably had the top, you know, recruiting, background check, all of that stuff when it comes to draft picks and the decisions they make. I don't know what they gauge it off of, but it's high, and I understand why. So I got drafted to San Antonio. You know, once I get there, go through Summer League. I mean, I think I might have been the top player in Summer League going in, and that's not any shade to anybody else that came in to work out and play or the other draft picks. I think I got drafted with George Hill, Malik Harrison, and Lonzo G. You know, we were all there. I mean, we all worked, but my first year, that first summer, I went ham in that Summer League. You know, I went ham in that Summer League. And so in my mind, I was like, I know I'm about to be on the team this year and everything. You know, as soon as Summer League's over, go back to San Antonio. We out there working out, doing the mini camps prior to training camp and everything, leading up to training camp. And Pop calls me. And he called my cell phone or my house phone. That's what it was. Called me on the house phone. And he was like, man, we want you to go overseas for a year. Like, would you go overseas for a year? And this is what started the whole European tour. And when he said it, I was just like, nah. I was like, nah, Pop, like, I ain't trying to do that. Like, I'm ready. I know I'm ready. Like, I belong here. I don't belong overseas. He's like, nah, you know, the problem is, you know, we got a lot of bodies. And we want you to play. We don't want you to sit on the bench, but we don't know where we want to play you right now. You know, that's what the message that he told me. Like, we don't know where we want to play you, but we want you to have a lot of opportunity to play, get a lot of minutes, get better, learn. And so we think that you could do that, you know, on this team that we selected for you in Italy. And it happened to be Angelico Biella. The year before that, I think Thabo Cephalosha played there. And the year that I actually went there I was with Jonas Jerebko and Reese Gaines, you know, two names that had came to the NBA. We had some other foreign players, not foreign players, American players that played with us, Joe Smith, Greg Bruner. We had, you know, a good group of guys that came through. Pietro Addadori, who was actually on the Italian national team. You know, a lot of good guys. Anybody I forgot, you know, just can't think of off the top of my head right now. But, you know, we had a good team, and San Antonio said that they wanted to put me there, give me a chance to play, give me a chance to learn basketball, grow, you know, and then come in and be ready for next year. So, you know, that was a hard conversation to have, but it was one of those things where it was like, you know, all right, you kind of got to be a man. You take this on the chin. This is what they say you got to do. This is what you got to do. And so I took that, you know, with a grain of salt. I didn't think of it too deep because, you know, growing up, I was in a military family, traveled a lot. You know, I was born in Turkey, lived in Germany for 4 years growing up. I mean, I traveled all over the world, you know, as a kid. And so traveling to Europe wasn't foreign to me. And my parents just told me, you know, this time you just got to do it by yourself. You're not with us, you know. And so, and plus, at least you're going to Italy. They're like, you're going to Italy, so you're not going to too bad of a place. You know, you close to Milan, you know. The San Antonio said they got you in a good situation, a good position. So I trusted them in that situation. But, you know, it was an experience. Going to Europe the first time by yourself, you know, after being and kind of living the little dream of being in the NBA, going through the summer and all of that, and just enjoying the perks, and all of a sudden, boom, now you're in Europe. It was a shock for a minute, especially after being at Maryland 4 years, you know, under Gary Williams. It was a highly touted team. I mean, Maryland, we were Nike Elite. They just came off a national championship, ACC tournament. You know, Gary's going to go down as a Hall of Fame coach. You know, every game was 20,000, you know, people in the gym, you know, so to go from that to getting drafted to San Antonio, who's known for producing NBA championships, to boom, Angelico Biella. Gym only seats 6,000. It was like everything I wasn't ready for.
So you get on that flight. Now you're headed over to Europe. It's your first professional European experience. What's the first thing you remember hitting you like, oh man, this is just different?
The elevator. Not even get to the airport, man. Get to the airport. I mean, it's a small city. Then we get in the car, had a lot of bags, and it was a small-ass car, but, I mean, we made it. We got it.
Every car in Europe is small compared to us. I mean, I know you're 6'9", I'm 6'10". I was folded up in those cars.
Exactly. Mercedes just like us, but they got the model BMW and the model Mercedes that go to like a smart car.
Yeah.
They don't have that here in America. So, you know, that was my first introduction to that. But once we got to the apartment, they was like, you know, a few of your teammates are going to be staying here, so y'all can all be familiar if you need any help. You know, they said on this floor. They were like, here's the elevator. Open up the elevator. Mind you, I had hella bags. I'm 6'9". My agent, he's like 6'7", you know, big body. And so the elevator door is open, and I'm telling you, I think maybe like 6 little people could fit in there.
Yeah. Yeah, they all say 6 persons.
Man, ain't 6 persons fitting in there. That elevator gonna break down as soon as 3 get on it. So the door open, I'm just like, damn. So I'm like, somebody gotta take the stairs. The manager said he gonna take the stairs. He'll take up the bags. So I said, all right, me and my agent get in there. And so we get in, we so tight, it's like, you know, we just uncomfortable. This way, he gonna look that way, and I'm just like, man.
Hey, tell me this. Was it the kind of elevator you had to open the door yourself? What kind of?
Yeah, it was something like that. And I mean, I wasn't expecting it to be. And then we was only going 3 floors, but like I said, I had a lot of bags. It was just like, just came off a long flight. I wasn't about to walk, but I seen the elevator. I was just like, damn, this about to be a long year.
Then you go into the apartment, and we got, in America, our standards are one thing, and we're not. If you hadn't been to Europe before, you just wouldn't be accustomed to the different standards of living. It's not good, it's not bad, it's just different.
It's different.
It's different.
And that's the whole point of being cultured, man. I mean, I know people that ain't never left the block, you feel me? Or just ain't never left, you feel me? Or maybe went to Miami and they call that traveling,
Yeah. I tell people that all the time.
He's like, nah, you got to get out the country and see different, because people think different, they live different, they move different. And it's just a different mentality. And it's not bad. It's different, like you said. And it's something that you could open yourself up to and understand that it's just more than to life than what you got here right in front of you here in America.
Right.
And so that is definitely something big for me.
I got a quick question for you. When I did my research on you, you said you was a military kid. So I knew that before you said that. So being a military kid, you was born here in Turkey. You also lived in Germany as a child. Was it still a huge shock because, you've already seen what Europe is like a little bit, or were you just too young to really know about Europe?
Nah, when I moved back to the States in 95, 96. So I was like 7, 8 years old. So now 10 years old, going on 10. Going on 10. I was like 9 years old. And so, I mean, I had a pretty good grasp on how things work. I did grade school 1st through 4th grade in Germany, but we lived on a base. So, I mean, you wasn't really in.
The base is like American guys. It's like little America on the base. Yeah.
If you go outside the base, you're in real Germany. Don't get me wrong. But
right.
The base, good. You go grocery store, you find Pop-Tarts, cereal, all the stuff
you're
looking for. You got everything. Yeah, so I mean, I was used to that. I think the biggest shock was going back to Europe and not being on the base. I think that was the biggest shock for me, because everything was in English, everything was, easy. You had people, everybody spoke English, but when you come over and I was by myself and I came into Italy, I mean, Biella, I think the population was only 60,000 maybe. It wasn't a big city, I mean, we were about 45 minutes from Milan. So a city like Biella, a town like Biella, let's call it a town, it ain't a lot of young people. The older people there don't want to speak English because, that's just not their natural.
They probably know English.
Facts, and I mean, even if they do speak English, it's like, you in Italy. You better speak some Italian. You're not in America. So, and because I know a little bit of Spanish, it kind of helped a little bit, but the Italian and Spanish is similar. So that was something that helped adjust to it. But, I mean, I didn't really have that much of a culture shock, because growing up in Europe, I mean, you dealt with not having power, not having hot water, and understand that, you got to have the candles lit, or, man, you better go turn that stove on and boil some water. You need some hot water or something like that, for whatever reason. You figure out how to work. So, I mean, at any time those things happen, when I was over in Italy the first year, I was ready for it. I kind of had that before I got there a little bit. But to the guys that have never experienced that, man, it's a shock, man. It'll go through for sure. It'll go through.
Yeah. It's guys. A lot of guys can't even handle it. And
hell no, because I mean, you gotta think. You going over there to play basketball. You just going over there to play basketball. You're not thinking about nothing else. You think it's just going. You're gonna go to practice. You're gonna go to this. Like, nah, you actually living over there.
Yes.
Whole year living over there. You got to make sure your house straight. You got to make sure everything work. You got to make sure you got a washer, dryer, all of this stuff. Because that stuff ain't included in the contract, for one. Two, if you ain't got all that stuff set up before, you got to go out and get all that stuff, figure out how to do all that, how to communicate with everybody. Like, it's a lot that you got to deal with outside of basketball by itself.
Right.
It's already hard enough to adjust to basketball in Europe. So you combine all those things, basketball, life, and then you mess around and get one of them coaches you was talking about. All right, let's see how long an American player sit over there and last. You feel me? Without snapping on somebody.
Right.
It really be like that. It took me 2.5 months. I didn't really adjust to the European game until like early December.
Let's talk about that, because so many guys think they're just going to go over there and cook. I'm going to just go over here. I'm going to average 25, and I'm boom, on back to the league or whatever it is they think, right? Everybody thinks they're going to go over there and just kill. So can you talk about that adjustment on the court that makes it even harder to just be out there, period?
Like when you talk about the differences in the game, it's not really a difference because, I mean, it's the game of basketball. It's just how you think about it, you know? When you become a professional and you play at a higher level, the game becomes more cerebral than it does, you know, physical and all that stuff. I mean, you have the physical attribute, you have the reaction time and all that stuff. You got to be in shape. You got to be able to play at a high level for sure. But when you play against guys that can just think the game, it's different. You know, the European court is smaller. The European shot clock, not shot clock, but the quarters are shorter. You know, you got 10-minute quarters. You don't got 12-minute quarters. You got less possessions. You know, you can't sit there and have one guy on your team taking 30 shots. You know, if you do, your team probably not going to be that successful in Europe, you know, honestly. You know, maybe in one of the lower leagues, probably. But at a higher league, you're talking about playing high-level basketball, I play Euroleague. You're not going to have one guy on your team taking 30 shots. It's too easy to take that one player and get him out the game. You feel me? As a team, you can make that happen real easy with the scouting report. But, you know, just adjusting to understanding that, you know, that you can't come in thinking you're going to, every time you touch the ball, you're going to take a shot. You know, you can't come in. You got to understand team dynamics, you know, when it comes to playing in Europe. Coaches press for that, you know, that good to great. Don't settle for something, you know, that is contested. That ball got to move. You got 24 seconds. I done seen that ball move so fast that it's just like you're out of breath as a defender trying to chase that jump. And coaches want to get to that point. You understand? San Antonio plays like that. Golden State plays like that. But it's only a couple teams in the NBA that play like that. And they're in the finals every year. They're in the finals every year. You feel me? And so that's kind of what Pop was getting at when he was like, James, you need to go overseas for you can learn. You're going to play in this system. You got to learn how to play ball. And I didn't understand that being young. You know, looking back, I'm like, I get it. You know, I hope I can get a chance to sit down with him and just pick his brain a little bit, because I know when I'm done playing basketball, I want to get into coaching. But, you know, the whole European game, it's different, man. It's different. I remember playing against Siena when they were a top team in Italy. You know, they had Terrell McIntyre.
Top team in Europe.
Yeah, for real. And, I mean, they were running through the Italian league, maybe lose one game all year. I mean, we played them one time. And we were up like 6 points, third quarter, end of the third quarter. I think I had like 18. I'm talking trash. Like I'm a rookie. I don't know no better. I'm just having a good game. And so I'm just like, man, talking crazy to them. Like, y'all some bums. We about to wear y'all out. And Terrell McIntyre looked at me and was like, all right, hold up real quick. Man, he came down the next 3 plays. Pick and roll top of the key. I'm talking about 3, back to back. I'm talking about 9 points like that in like 45 seconds. Game switch, momentum change. I'm sitting here like, damn. JG, you better shut up, man. You don't know what you just got yourself in. We ended up 15. We lost by like 15. So I'm like, okay, I understand that this team is the best team in Italy now. I understand why. And that time, I was thinking that they was the best team I had ever seen at that time, because I hadn't played against anybody or any team where that ball was just moving so fast. You know, you running crazy like a chicken with your head off. You just can't catch it. They just, next, you know, three, backdoor, layup, dunk, fast break. You down 20. You're like, damn, this just happened in like 2 minutes.
Yeah.
In 2 minutes in Europe, you can lose a game by 20. All it takes is that. You know, in the NBA, you can be down 20. People come back from 20 all the time. All the time. 20 ain't nothing. That's like a 5-point whatever in Europe. But in Europe, if you lose focus, you miss your assignment once or twice, man. That's what I'm talking about, where every possession matters. It's not one of those games where you can take 3 or 4 minutes and just free fall. No, not in them high-level games. In high-level games, it's, you know, you really got to lock in. You really got to focus. So I always thought Siena was the best. And I remember me and my teammate Joe Smith were sitting, eating dinner one night. And he was like, the EuroLeague playoffs about to come on. And I had no idea what EuroLeague was. He was like, Siena's playing tonight, and they're playing a team from Greece. Happened to be Panathinaikos, which is crazy. And I didn't know Panathinaikos at all. They know them from a grain of salt. And we turned on the game. And when I say Siena got beat by 30 at Siena, it was just like, I'm watching the game like, yo, I thought Siena was the best team I ever played. And I'm sitting here watching this game, and you telling me there's teams out here that's killing teams like Siena like this. I said, I need to figure out what level of basketball that is, and I need to figure out how I can get there. you know, and at that point, you know, if I was going to make the European run, I wanted to be in EuroLeague. If I wasn't going to be in Europe, I wanted to be in the NBA. That's how it played out to me. But the adjustment period is, you know, it takes time. It takes time. I got there in August. I didn't really get into the flow of things until December, man. And you can't get frustrated on yourself. Sometimes teams won't take that much time with you either. They won't take that much time with you. So, I mean, it's a process of learning. Be willing to learn. Be open to listening and understanding. And then the sky's the limit, man, because a lot of guys cut themselves off. You know, a lot of guys cut themselves off and mess up their own opportunities instead of taking the time to learn and grow. You know, sometimes you just got to take those moments to heal, take those moments to learn, take those moments to understand that, you know, it's something that you're not ready for yet. You think you're ready, but you're not ready yet. And now that I'm like, I just turned 34 on the 26th of October, and so now, you know, when I get around these young guys and I'm playing, and I see myself from when I first came in. Like, wasn't listening to nothing, thought I knew everything, athletic as hell, could play and jump out the gym and everything. But when it came to just strategy and understanding basketball and what will make you a player that can stick and understanding what can make you a player that can win at a high level, got a long way to go.
You just said someone who could jump out of the gym. I want to tell you the first time I heard the name James Guest. You was playing for Partizan. By this time, when was this? Maybe 2010 you was there? Something like that?
Yeah.
By then, this is probably my 8th year playing professional, right? So I'm watching the game. I think I was Euro Cup, maybe, or EuroLeague. I don't remember.
No, I was Euro.
You and Jan Vesley was on the same team. He was the 5, you was the 4. You're 6'9", Jan Vesley like 6'10", 6'11". Both high-flying guys. I don't know who you guys were playing. All I remember is James Gist with the dunk, boom. Jan Vesley with the dunk, boom. James Gist with the – I mean, it's like I was taking turns dunking on these cats. Like, I have never seen that in Europe from 2 guys on the same team dunking like that. Like, it was ridiculous. It was ridiculous.
It was crazy. That year at Partizan, you know what was wild about that is Jan was young. Jan was really young. I mean, you know, he's the premier big man in EuroLeague now playing with Fener, but he was young coming up, and he was supposed to be the next prodigy coming out of Serbia. And Jan actually played the 3. Jan played the 3. I played the 4, and we had Nate Jawad that played the 5.
Yep.
That's right. Yeah.
That thing had just came from Minnesota, and so he was playing the 5. I was playing the 4. Jan was playing the 3, and I think at first we started out with Oliver Lafayette, and then he got sent up out of there, and we brought in Curtis Geralds, who I was with in San Antonio. And so once that mob came together, man, like you said, it was pick your poison, because you had Jan slashing from the 3, you had me at the top of the key, you had Big Nate, and we were all athletic. And then you throw that crowd behind us in Belgrade. But it was hard coming in there and trying to get a win against us. And the thing was, which was crazy, is that was the year I got released from San Antonio. That was my 3rd year. I went back, you know, tried to make the push, and went to training camp and forced their hand. And it got to the point where they was like, we want you to go D-League, and we're going to bring you up throughout the year. If any players get injured, or if anybody gets, you know, we need time, we want to get you in, we're going to do that. But we're not going to sign you on an NBA contract. And at that time, G-League contract was $30,000.
Yeah.
You get
with Uncle Sam in your pockets.
And that was the high end. $30,000 was the high end of a G-League contract. And that's before taxes, you feel me? And so that being said, I had the opportunity to make 6 figures overseas. It was just like, I'm doing this 3 years now. This is the whole thing of getting drafted. You know, I know I belong. I know I deserve it. I know I'm working. And I know I put the time in. Why won't you give me a shot? You know, I was upset. And, you know, when they told me they wanted to give me the D-League option, I kind of took my hat off. I said, you know what? I appreciate the opportunity. I said, but this ain't it. I'll figure it out. Mm-hmm. Left just like that. And then Partizan called a week later. And like, boom, go out to Serbia. So now I go out to Serbia. Get out there, And my first game wasn't even in Belgrade. My first game was actually in Slovenia. We played Olympia, Ljubljana at the time. This is a story right here. Slovenia, end of the game, last quarter. I didn't play that much that game, but fourth quarter towards the end, they had me in. And it was a EuroLeague game. No, it wasn't a EuroLeague game. It wasn't a EuroLeague game. It was an Adriatic League game. And I think it was like a 3-possession game, 2-possession game or something. Either way, we made a play, and we got the ball, scored. We were up 1. We were up 1 last possession. They got the ball.
Time out. This is one of the craziest finishes in the history of basketball, period. If this I think. Go ahead. Tell this story, man. Go ahead.
So we up 1. No shot clock, no none of that. They got the final possession. I want to say it was like 10, 12 seconds, something like that. We in the timeout. Coach say, all right, we're going to foul. I look left. I look right. I said, man, we're going to foul. I look at the clock. I was like, man, we up 1. Why the hell we going to foul right now?
Oh, I got
He said, we're going to foul. And I'm still like, Coach, we up 1. Like, you know the score? He's like, we up 1, but we're going to foul because if we let them get the last possession, that means we won't get a shot. If they score, that's game. I said, but if we foul, they put them on the free throw line, they give them the lead, and now we got to score. It was like, don't worry. This is your first time in Europe. Or this it's hard for me to, like, digest this coming out of court. It's like we got the game right. And so I'm like, okay, foul, boom, on the line. They knock out 2 free throws. Boom. Now we down 1. Timeout. Now we talking about what we gonna run. I'm like, man, what you talking about? We just had the lead. We had to play defense. All we had to do was get a stop. Let's just get a stop. Let's lock it up. Let's get a stop. I trust these guys. I don't know them, but I mean, they seem tough. It was a good game so far. Let's just lock it in for the last play. Foul. They all up 1. Man, we come down, try to run a play. We don't even get a shot off. Lose the game. Dude, when I tell you, I lock in the locker room, man, this was my first, like, I ain't gonna say I went off, but I let them hear it. I was like, yo, that got to be one of the dumbest decisions I ever heard. Like, you gonna sit here and give up the game like that? We had the lead. You ain't gonna trust your defense? And they started trying to talk to me about how this is how we do things in Europe and this is strategy and all this stuff. And I was like, man, look, I'm a believer in defense. At the end of the game, man, you lock in. If you catch a bucket, you catch a bucket. But if you lose, you ain't gonna lose because you fouled and gave them a point. You gave them the game. So after that game, I called my agent. I said, man, y'all gotta get me up out of here. I said, I can't do this. So we're gonna be tricking. No way.
Hey, James.
Nope. I said, so
James, so many guys overreact like that, man. So many, you'd be surprised how many dudes react like that.
I've had them all.
Dude, straight. I mean, this is real.
Hey.
So my agent's like, all right, we're gonna figure something out. Chill out. Just chill out. We got a game coming up. I think we play Maccabi. We play this game was like on a Monday or Sunday, and we played Maccabi that Thursday in Belgrade. And so my agent was like, all right, we're gonna try to figure something out. You got a game coming up this week. After this game, we'll figure out what we're gonna do, what move we're gonna make. So I'm like, all right, cool. Man, I walk in the gym in Belgrade and we playing Maccabi. That's when they had Jeremy Pargo, David Blue, they had Baby Shaq, Big Sofo, they had him. You know, they had the team. I think they might have won that year. They went to the Final Four that year. They had a good team. And so I walk in the gym in Belgrade, and I'm talking about 2 hours before the game, 2.5 hours before the game. It's full. Like, not a seat nowhere. Everything black and white. They singing, you can't hear. And I'm like, man, I'm trying to get some shots up, but, like, it's just dumb loud in here. Like, I had my headphones on. I couldn't even hear the music in my headphones. I was just like, I'm going to just take these off. So get the warm-up in. We go out there. We play. And, I mean, just the introduction. The game hadn't even started yet. The introduction was so live. Like, it was something that I had never seen before. And it's just like, and I've been to Maryland.
Can you go
in Maryland where, you know,
can you go in depth of how the fan support can be? Like, for example, that partisan, can you go in depth of how that fan support is? Because a lot of people don't understand the love that those fans give their teams. They like that. They would die for their team in Europe.
Yeah. Nah, real rap. The fans over there, they love basketball more than we do. They just can't play it. So they want us to play it for them. You know, it's like but they're passionate about it. die over the day, die over these games. You know, and in Serbia, that was Partizan Red Star. And that was the rival. It's like Duke, Maryland, or Red Cowboys, or I don't know, like San Antonio, Dallas. Like, you know, you get the rivalry. Louisville, Kentucky. That where it brings people together and they get hostile. That is that. And in Europe, these fans really go hard for their team. They go hard for their team. I mean, you could be out eating. You could be out eating Fridays. I don't know, something to eat. And let's say you have a drink and you got a game tomorrow, 2 days. I guarantee a fan will come up to you and be like, "Yo, you got to go home." And you're a whole grown man. They're like, "You got to go home. You got a game."
What are you doing?
Like, yeah, they'll check you. Fans will check.
9 o'clock at night.
Man, what early? Like you a kid. You feel me? And so it's like, I mean, it's a whole nother level when it comes to fan base. It comes to like how they look at you out there. And again, like they're passionate, like beyond passionate of how people can be here for their teams. You know, and in America, man, you have some of the greatest fans ever, but it don't come close to what you see over in Europe. Don't come close. I mean, you would be uncomfortable in a crowd over there.
Yeah.
Like you guys have been over there, but like for people that haven't been over there, you would be uncomfortable. You would be like, I don't feel safe.
Right.
You would be like, I don't feel safe. Where's the exit? You'll start looking for the exit, and then you probably still wouldn't be able to get there. You know, it's like that. Like these games get really intense.
Tell me this. So I could. I was in a situation where I'm walking into the gym, and it's a rivalry game, and one of the fans from the other team spit right on my face, dog. Now, the man that I am says automatic, we got to handle this, period. Right? That's just the man that I am.
Yeah.
In the situation and me having some kind of awareness of how this works, I went just like this.
You gotta be smart.
Bro, I went just like this. I wiped it off with my shoulder and kept it pushing. Man, I wiped it off with my shoulder and kept it pushing like it didn't happen.
Like it ain't nothing. It was
like, like it ain't happen.
Man,
because of what you're saying.
When you're in those kind of situations, you got to be smart. But this comes to being socially aware. You know, common sense ain't that common.
Right.
Right. Some people really got it in their mind that they're going to go up there and then they're going to get the person that spit on them.
Nah, you don't have to handle everybody in that section.
You're going to go up there, you're going to get beat down.
if you live, you won.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you might get stuck.
Yeah.
You gonna get stuck.
Yeah.
You gonna get stuck. As soon as you cross, and the thing is, like, you could take it back to how it was with Indiana and Detroit when they had the Mouse and the Palace. You know, and they went up in there, and not to highlight anything negative about those guys, but they went up in the stands. You know, they handled their business. I can tell you like this: if they did that in Europe,
no, it went down like that.
Whole situation. Because I mean, you don't just got 10, 15 fans that you're trying to get at.
No,
you got a whole gym.
Yeah,
you got, and it's the whole gym. It's not just one section.
Indiana was on the road. Think about on the road.
It's not enough police. It's not enough security. It's not enough. If it really breaks down in there, if it really goes down, I done had situations, you know, playing in Panathinaikos, that Olympiacos-Panathinaikos rivalry, man. I done had situations where I done had to haul ass off the court.
Yeah.
Haul ass off the court, get to the locker room. If somebody get in your way, man, run over them. It's not no stop. I'm not stopping till you get in the locker room. Like a gym of 17,000 people, you talking about you taking on one of them? Nah, you taking on 17,000. You're going to catch 17,000 boots to the face. You just got to be smart in situations. You got to be smart in situations.
So I have a question for you.
Fight another day.
I have a question for you. You've played on a lot of, like, I don't want to say controversial places, but places that have a lot of passion. Like you played in Serbia, you've played in Istanbul, you've played in Russia, you've played in Athens. All those places, those fans are very passionate about their sports. Those people are very passionate people in general, right? So you've been in those places. What is the craziest story or thing that you have seen or experienced in any of those places? Like where you be like, oh man, I can't believe that just happened. I just seen that.
Man, it's a toss up between Istanbul and Greece. Like, I seen some wild stuff in Serbia, but my first year in Serbia was different from my second. Like I just finished my second tour in Serbia with Red Star this past season before the pandemic. And that experience in Serbia was a lot different from the experience I had in Serbia back in 2010 playing with Partizan. So comparing those two, it was like night and day. But when you look at, and plus, when I came to Partizan in 2010, Red Star really wasn't that good. So our rivalry, the fans, it wasn't as intense.
Mm-hmm.
When you got your rivalry who's just as good as you or better, that's when the game is lit. That's when the whole city show up and the gym is shut down. Everybody focused on the screen. Istanbul, we played Galatasaray at Galatasaray. Mm-hmm. And I remember it was a timeout, and I think we had just went on a run or something happened, and we were going to the timeout, and the way they had the benches, like they had the little plastic covers that go over the back of the bench. Mm-hmm. So like you sit there and ain't nobody gonna throw nothing at you, whatever. And so we walk into the bench, and I guarantee you, when you go to a retail store, you buy some shirts, shoes, whatever, and they got a big ass calculator on the side of the register. They be typing on that thing sometimes. Man, when I say one of them things hit the floor, like at the bench, and it split up in the middle of the floor, it was like boom, hit the ground. I was like, man, what is that? And I saw it was a full blown calculator, and they started throwing phones, lighters, all kind of. I'm sitting here like, yo, and like everybody like get in cover. And so we all ducked up under the thing. And I'm like, all right, the game got to be over now. And they like, nah, let's do the timeout. I'm sitting here like, yo, they sitting here throwing stuff like we gonna get hit. You throwing forward. Like, I can't focus because I'm worried about these dudes coming out by the stands, right there. So I mean, that was like probably like my first, and this was before I got to Greece. That's why I told this one first, because I had never witnessed that much stuff being thrown on the floor and nobody getting in trouble for that, or security just like seeing it at the floor and just look and then just going about their business like they didn't see it. In America, somebody throws something on the floor, they're going to rewind that TV. All the fans in that section going to point, and they're going to be like, it was him. Security going to go up there, take him out, and, that fan's can't come back to a game no more.
No, they all throwing it. They all throwing it.
Everybody's throwing it. And I dare security guard to go up there and try to take a fan out of there for throwing something. Man, that's got to get beat down. It ain't happening. So it's like you kind of got to deal with that. So I realized that, when you go into certain territories, you got to be careful and be about your witness and understand that, what's going on. And so the next story was kind of like it was Greece. We played Olympiacos in the finals. And this is game 3 of the first year, my first championship in Greece. Olympiacos had won EuroLeague that year. And so they came in thinking they was about to sweep us or beat us or whatever it was. They thought they was going to triple crown. So we went into that series. And when I say we took that series, like we took it from the very first game. From the very first game, I think everybody, and they had home court advantage. I think they fans knew. I think their coach knew. I think they knew they weren't winning this series. It's just one of them things, like the way you lose the game. And I always say it's about how you win, how you lose, whatever it is. You send a message when you do it. And so when we won that first game, they knew they weren't going to win that series. We came in, went back to our place, won game 2. And so now game 3, you go back to their place, it's high style. Like, I mean, they in there, they like, there's no way y'all going to beat us 3 in a row. Y'all ain't that good, what fans are supposed to do. But it's a different vibe. So we go out there, we warming up, and they shooting bottle rockets, my G. They shooting like the Roman candles, them Jones. They firing them Jones over the court, firing them Jones on the court. And we on warm-ups. And so my teammate, Mike Bramos, he's playing in Italy now. Mike Bramos, man, in the literally like in his thigh, hit him in the shorts. He's standing at half court, come out his shorts. His shorts is on fire, literally. They're on fire. He shake out his shorts, and this is before the game. This is like 4 or 5 minutes before the game. We in warm-ups. He drop his shorts, boom. Equipment manager run in the back, go get some more shorts. Like, here, put these on, we're gonna play. I'm sitting there like, yo, they tripping their head. Like, how you expect to play? And they sitting like throwing all kind of stuff on the court, not just like lighters and pennies and all. They throwing like fireworks. Yeah, real fireworks. So I'm like, okay. That's just like, all right, we got to wrap our mind around this. We're going to win this championship. So we go through the game, and I mean, it's a close game throughout the game. I think we pushed it up to like 6 points, 8 points in the fourth. Might have been like 3-4 minutes left in the game, 3 minutes left in the game. And I think we made a run that kind of solidified that we were going to walk away with the championship. And that timeout got called, and it was like probably like 2 minutes, 40 seconds, a little under 3 minutes. When I say that they said that we were not going to raise a trophy on their court, they were serious. So we in a timeout. You know, it's a loud gym, so you can't hear. You really over the little board, coach talking, you trying to hear everything. It's a half a dynamite stick, bro. Like an M80. I'm talking about rolls in the middle of the timeout. Everybody focus on the board, and next thing you know, you see it. When I say we dispersed as quick as possible, half the guys was at half court. Some of the guys was up under the basket. Like, we went from the timeout, like, that jump blew up, like, boom, it was like a little bomb. You could feel it. It was boom, and that jump was right in the middle of the timeout. They did that. Everybody had court. We looking at the refs like, yo, y'all got to do something about this. As we looking at the refs, the fans are coming out the stands. They're coming out the stands. They like, nah, like, y'all not raising a trophy on this court. This is Panthers Olympiacos. It's like Bloods, Crips. They like, y'all not leaving the gym. Y'all not leaving the gym. That's what they saying. That's what they saying in their head. Y'all not leaving the gym. So now, coach and the refs is like, get to the locker room. Now, to get to the locker room, and Olympiacos' gym, like their court has like a Olympic-sized track around it.
Yeah.
So it's not like you go from the court straight to the, the back area.
You got to wait.
It's a distance between the court and that actual doorway you got to get to. And they got a tunnel that goes directly from the court. They pull a tunnel from that wall all the way to the court because they know how the fans are and stuff like this. And mind you, they got a big old net around the court. They got like 3 or 4 nets that cover the court, and so it was just crazy how Firework managed to get through that net. It was crazy because it just didn't seem like you could get through it. So as we trying to get off the court, the refs like, go, get to the court. Like, get to the locker room, We trying to run through the tunnels. The tunnel opens up like right in front of the fans where, you in front of their whole wild section, and they drop a fire hydrant down there. Fire hydrant. Boom, that joint busts open. I'm talking about white smoke. Dude, I'm not lying. You can look this up on YouTube. You can look it up. It was a moment where you watching the game, and then you see everybody run off the court, and you like, what happened? Why the game stop? That's what everybody's watching the game think. But we in the moment, we trying to get to that tunnel. They drop a fire hydrant down there. It's all white smoke. You can't see trying to get off the court. It's police trying to get on the court. You running in the tunnel. It's mayhem. It's mayhem for like 2.5 minutes trying to get to the locker room. It's mayhem. You finally get to the locker room. Everybody halfway out of breath. Jersey halfway down here. You got white stuff in your hair. You sweat. You ain't trying to tear your ACL slipping on water and sweat in the locker room because you trying to get out the way. Meanwhile, you hear all these M80 bombs going off in the gym. You see the security making they riot shields. They running down the hall trying to get in the gym because now they got to kick the fans out. Now after this, fans got to leave the gym because it's still 2 minutes, 30 seconds on the clock. We got to finish the game. So they like, if the fans don't leave within 15, 20 minutes, game over. They're going to forfeit, whatever. So we wait in the locker room. I think Kyle Hines and Spanoulis came in the locker room and was like, man, congratulations. Like, y'all got the win. The fans ain't leave or whatever, so they left. So we like, damn, like, this how we won? Like, all right, so now we turn up in there. As we turning up, mind you, the fans are still trying to get in the locker room, dude. We had to stay in the locker room for 2.5. We had to stay in the locker room for 2.5 hours. We couldn't leave the locker room. They had to lock the door. They had security blockers on. We had to stay in the locker room for 2.5 hours. In order for the fans to leave the gym, the police to subdue the area, not even just the gym itself, the area surrounding the gym, because we got to get on the bus and leave and get back to our side of town. We in the same city. So it's just, it's complete mayhem. It's complete mayhem. And I'm just like, yo, my wife, she's hitting me up. At the time, she was my girlfriend. She's my wife now. She's calling me. She's like, is everything okay? I'm like, man, we in the locker room. They trying to get back here, but security got us. We straight right now. I was like, I don't know if they get in here, it's going to be a moment, but that moment was had. And that was one of the wildest moments I ever experienced in Europe in a basketball game. Like, this is sports. This is just, it's a game. Right. These people live and die for this jump. They like, nah, you got to win, because if you don't win, we're going to see you afterwards. And they really be like that.
Man, you got some of the best stories we've heard on the pod so far. I gotta be real with you.
I got a lot, bro. I got a lot of stories, man. I'm 13 years in the game right now with this. Like,
Yeah.
I got a
Hey,
lot.
can we kind of slide into some of this stuff though? There's more stories hopefully we can get from you. Can you tell us of a situation where somebody was just getting on your nerves, maybe in the game or somewhere? Somebody was one of them little dirty little dudes or something, and it just kind of pushed you to be like, man, you look at it, you're like, man, I'm gonna cook this dude, and you just go off. Is there anybody like that you played against? Is there any moment or any moments like that you can remember that you can call on?
I mean, honestly, some of my greatest matchups, you know, the four position in Europe is such a pivotal position, man. It's such an important position because you have guys that can stretch the floor. You have guys that can kind of be a secondary point guard. You have guys that really facilitate and make the team work. You know, you have your point guard, you have your 4-man, you have your 5-man, but that 4 is just so pivotal. And when I came in, you had guys like Mirza Teletovic, playing for Nikola Mirotic before he went to the NBA, and before he came back, he was in Madrid, you know, playing the 4. You had, the matchups at the 4 position, Andreas Nocioni, Felipe Reyes when he was in his prime. You know, you had guys that were really, you had a battle night in, night out. And I remember Felipe Reyes and Andreas Nocioni. Those are probably like 2 of the most physical players that will just get under your skin. They get under your skin and they do it on purpose. I mean, like, you on the ball could be on the other side of the court. Like, you're not even close to the ball. You're not even getting a rock, and they going to let you know they right there. I mean, they're going to hit you with a bow. If you try to go for the rebound, they do all the dirty stuff. All the dirty stuff that you don't like, you know, they do that. And it was times when we almost got head up in the game. We almost got head up in the game because of that. And, you know, they do it. The Europeans, that's just what they do. They know. They know it's a mental game. Like I said, it's more mental than it is the physical aspect and just the ability to be able to get things done because it's a mind game. They got the veteran. They knew how to play. Nocioni was in the league for a long time playing with the Bulls, and so he understood. I didn't know. I was young, wet behind the ears. So all that stuff they was doing, they was getting me riled up, you know. And then at the end of the game, who got foul trouble? Me and them. I got foul trouble.
Right.
Don't see what they doing, but he see the second shot every time I try to go back at him. And so once I understood that, you know, that it was more of a mental game, and I had to just understand that, you know, don't feed into the energy that they giving off and just really shoot back at them and let them know that they really can't guard you. They really can't mess with you. You know, that's what it is. And those 2 matchups I'd probably say was the most physical and the most, like, get under your skin, but the most, like, it light a fire in you that's like, all right, now I'm about to cook. Now you about to catch all of this. I got clips. I mean, y'all can go on my IG of me putting Nocioni in the rim. I got clips of me taking Reyes to the basket, and it was after those type of moments where they talk and they join, or I got hit with a cheap shot, or I try to set a screen and he, you know, cleaned me up one time. And I'm like, all right, next time down, I got you. You know, next time down, I got you. So you had those moments, but at the end of the day, let your game talk, man. Don't mess up your money. Let your game talk.
So here's a question for you. You've also played a lot of years over here, played against a lot of good players. So who was that one guy, maybe it was just for a game, that guy was hot or whatever, that cooked you, that gave you work, maybe that game?
In Europe? There's a dude named Simanovic. Played with Ephes.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, Simanovic was nice.
He used to cook.
Simanovic was nice.
Cook me. I ain't gonna lie. I'm not even gonna lie. Like, everything I love, GP, like, I got a lot of respect for my game. I know what I'm capable of, but this non-athletic 4-man right here, he gave me the blues. He could give me the blues, and he couldn't jump. He wasn't fast, but he just knew the game. He knew the game, and it was like guys like him, like Simanovic, another dude, Bjelica, not the one that's in the NBA. Nemanja is in the NBA, I think. Marco is the one overseas, still in Europe. Those 2 guys, Simanovic and Bjelica, those 2 guys were like, they gave me the most problems in Europe, for real. And it was more so just because they were just fundamentally sound. They were all fundamentals. It had nothing to do with just the athletic ability. And me, I was like, I can run fast, I can jump higher, I know I'm stronger than you, like, I'm going to win this matchup. But for them, everything was slow. Everything was like, we get you in the position that we want you, and then we're going to hit you with the, look up one time, you're going to take off, I'm going to get the and one, boom.
Mm-hmm.
And they hit me with that 1-2 times, and I mean, it was just every time. I would think they were great three-point shooters, so every time they was on the closeout, I was trying to stop them from shooting the three. They were slow, but they would get by me, boom, hit me with a little bump, get the shot off, and it's just like, I'm looking at the bench like, yo, why can't I get a stop? It got to the point. No.
Simonovic was real crafty. Like, I remember that year. He played the 4, right? So a couple of times. I was an Adana that year, as you know. So whenever I had to switch off on him, I'm playing the 5. I'm a defensive player. That's what I was known for.
Right.
Every time, so when he catch the ball in the post, in my mind, I'm like, nah, this dude ain't strong enough. He
not strong enough.
But but he gave me something. I ain't gonna lie, he gave me some shit. Bucket and one. I'm like, dang, what the? I didn't even know what he did. I'm gonna be honest with you.
Yeah. It's just like that. Because I mean, and he started the game off so chill. It's like you don't think he's a threat until he is.
Yeah.
And then when he is a threat, it's too late. You already done. He already got into the game. He got a feel for the game. He can make plays. It's just, he gave me a problem. He gave me a real problem. I remember one time I got cussed out at halftime. My point guard, Rocco Ukic.
Croatia.
First year, we played together in Finner. And just so happened when I got to Powell, he was the point guard in Powell too. And so we were playing Ephes in Athens. We played Ephes in Athens. It was a top 16 game. And I think Simonovic might have had 12 by the half. And Rocco, we came in the locker room. Rocco was like, what the fuck? Like, he's kicking your ass. He's busting your ass. And Rocco was cussing me out. And I'm sitting here already pissed because Simonovic got a couple on me. I'm already pissed at that. And then I come in the locker room and I got to hear Rocco mouth. And Rocco let me have it. I'm talking about he owned me. And Rocco ain't give a damn. Like, we could have scrapped it out right there. And he was ready for it or whatever. But he didn't give a damn. He was going to be like, yo, you're going to play defense or you're just not going to play. Because right now we need you to play. He's killing us. Not nobody else. Him. And so I'm just like, I kind of had to take that as a, like, he came at me. I got to take that on the chin. Like, all right, second half. I say second half, I went out there and ate Simonovic up just off of, like, I needed that fire, though. I needed Rocco to do that. I needed to have a teammate to just spark that in me, though. Yo, wake up. Yeah, it was one of those, and we ended up coming back. We won the game by like 10. It was a big game that we needed because at that time, Ephes was making a push for the top 8. We were making that playoff run. Mm-hmm. And so it was a big game that we needed. But, yeah, Simonovic, man, he was kicking my ass in that first half. And I remember Rocco, we almost got into a fight, and I would have been wrong for stealing off on Rocco. Put it like that. I'd have been wrong for it because he was right. He was right. I was playing soft. I was getting cooked. The team was playing hard. Everybody playing hard. It was me that was letting everybody down. So I had to kind of like JG step up, get it right. Came out second half, handled my business. We ended up winning. After the game, Rocco like, I knew you could do it. And I was just like, man, I wanted to cuss him out again after the game. But I mean, it's just you gotta have teammates. You gotta have people that's gonna hold you accountable. You trying to win a championship, you gotta have people that's gonna hold you accountable. And it can't be the coaches. It gotta be you, and it gotta be the teammates that's gonna hold yourselves accountable for when you make mistakes because. At the end of the day, if y'all don't hold each other accountable, what's going to happen when the times get tough? Y'all going to start looking at each other, blaming each other? Nah. Take it upon yourself and get it done.
Yeah. And you got to be open to receiving.
Constructive criticism. I mean, sometimes it's the way that people give it off, but you're right. In your mind, you can't take it negative, especially in the heat of the moment when it's the hardest. In the heat of the moment when it's the hardest, you got to understand that we all got a common goal here. Yeah. We all want to win. It's not nothing personal. This is solely for the game and solely for the fact that I want to win. And if you want to win just as much as I do, then yeah, it's going to get to a point where we might scrap. Well, it's going to get to the point where we face to face because we really want it that bad, And I mean, a little animosity ain't never bad, but sometimes you got to have. Some of the best teams had the most, fire in the locker rooms.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to ask you a couple of questions, and then we'll try to wrap it up. I don't want to keep you too long. And like I said, I know you're in the heart of what's everything going on today, with you being in DC.
Yeah.
But out of the countries you've been in, outside of basketball, which one would you say is your favorite that you maybe can live in?
Greece and Italy.
Greece and Italy.
Greece and Italy. I mean, like Italy, the food, man, the food was just so good. And I mean, it's just like, just that the Italian lifestyle. I like it.
Yeah.
I like it. The Italian lifestyle.
A lot of my guests have said Italy. Italy has been one of the top places.
Italy's amazing. And I mean, I only got a chance to play 1 year there, but I mean, being in Europe, I've been through Italy every single year. Go through Italy every year. And that was just one place that I really enjoyed. I had a family there that, took me in as one of theirs. Like I said, my first year overseas, I was by myself, but the family that owned a restaurant out there, they took me in and I ate there all the time. They made sure I ate. They made sure it was good. I still check in with them to this day, and it's just like, that was something that was huge for me, being there and feeling that, because not being with my family, being overseas in a place where I was alone, I felt like, I kind of had to make things work for myself. I had some people there that really looked out for me, and that just comes from that Italian lifestyle, that Italian, that family feeling, it's that Southern hospitality thing that you get where they take you in and they treat everybody like they family. That's just, Italians are like that. And Greece would have to be the other one. Greece for sure, hands down. I would buy a house there and live out there. Shit, if the way this damn election go, I might buy a house out there and move out there with the fam.
I'm still in Turkey. I live in Istanbul right now.
Yeah. So you really got to consider these things, man. You really got to consider these things with the way, everything's going in America, the way everything's turning in the world. You got to consider having a place that you can even go to if things do go south. And you can make sure that you guys are safe, your family's safe, and everything can still go on. Because it's getting to that point.
Last question I want to ask you, man. It's going to be a tough one. You're the first person I'm asking this question to. If you could pick your own starting five out of the players that played in Europe, what would that starting five be?
They're currently playing, or they already played?
It don't matter. The players currently already, your all-time European starting five. Anybody who played in Europe.
Jeez.
Tough.
I'm looking at players right now trying to figure out who I would pick. That's tough.
That's such a broad. I mean.
Okay. You played.
All right. Would you do starting foreign five or starting European five?
No, you're starting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Overall. Sheesh. I would probably take Sofo in his prime at the 5.
Mm-hmm.
I'll take at the 4. I'll probably have to say.
You can say yourself if you want.
I could say myself, but I mean, like, I'm gonna keep it G. It's been a lot of players ahead of me. It's been a lot of people that got some. I ain't got no EuroLeague title. I got a lot of championships. I ain't got no EuroLeague title though.
Talk about it. That's real.
It's certain people that come before me in that aspect. At the 4, I would put Andre Karolinko. I got a chance to play against him when he was at Cheska his final years, and AK-47 was one of my favorite players while he was in the NBA playing with Utah. That when Darren Williams and Carlos Booz and all those guys were there, love AK-47. Just his energy and stuff like that. Even when 2K first came out, I used to play with him. And we played him one time in the playoffs, trying to make the Final Four. I think we tied it up 2-2. And we ain't had no chance. I think we lost the first 2 games in Moscow and came back to Athens and 1-2. And so we went into game 5 like we got a chance. And we really ain't had no chance, but we had a chance. Man, when I say AK-47 might have had a triple-double by halftime, I'm talking about 10 points, 11 boards, 5 steals, 3 blocks. This is a halftime stat in Europe.
Right.
And I'm saying here, like, he was all over the place. He was all over the place. And it wasn't like he was the one that was killing and everything. They still had Teodosic and all these other guys. He was killing, but AK, just the way he impacted the game without having to score, was something that I had never seen before. His athletic ability, and that was old AK. That wasn't young AK. You feel me? So I would put AK at the 4. At the 3, I would probably put Pete Michael.
Mm-hmm.
At the 3, I'll put Pete Michael.
Cincinnati.
You got a relationship with him?
I don't, but he was a beast at Barca.
He was a beast.
He was a beast at Barca, man. I can't like that's just that 3 position was OD for him because he could post up, he could do everything. You know, he was a. I put P. Michael at 3.
You got your 2.
At the 2, I'd probably say Anthony Parker, maybe.
Woo.
Oh yeah.
I gotta go with my guy Diamantidis, bro. I gotta go.
Oh man, you know what I thought you was gonna do?
Ooh.
I love that pick. I thought you was gonna go Yesivikevich's.
Shout that's my guy. He Maryland. That's Terps. That's Turf for life too.
That's why I figured you was gonna go there, but I got you.
That's my dude. That's my guy. But I mean, honestly, I didn't get the chance to play with Shout. I got a chance to play against him when he was at Barcelona, and I was in his latter years of playing.
Yeah,
I got 3 years with Beto. I got 3 years with Beto. I got 3 years with Nick Colati. It's like to be able to say I was able to play with an actual legend. Like people call me a legend, but nah, I ain't even on that level when it comes to what Diamantidis is. Like if you just look at his rap sheet, Google his name, like the accolades that he got, and it's just bigger than European basketball because he's got the FIBA, he's got the Olympics. He was on the Greek national team that smacked USA by 30. You know, he did a lot. Kobe, you know, IP Kobe referred to Diamantidis and was wishing that he was able to play with him in the NBA. Diamantidis is one of those guys, man, that's just like, and he's genuine, really good guy, really good dude. If you talk to him, you would never think in one moment that he's a star, superstar, a legend. He don't act like it. He's humble, you know. So for me, that would be my starting 5. I would put Mito at the 1, Anthony Parker at the 2, P. Michael at the 3, AK at the 4,
That's a big
tough 5 right there.
Who gonna stop me? Who gonna stop me? Who gonna stop me?
Man, I want to thank you for coming on the show, man. We really appreciate it, man. We had a wonderful time, man. Your stories, your experiences, man. Thanks for, being opening up to us. For people who want to follow you and keep up with you on your social media, what's your handle?
My handle is Gistovich15. GISTOVIC 15. You can follow me on there. I don't have Facebook. I don't have Twitter. I just stay on IG. But that's the way people can keep up with me. And I mean, I'm all. Thank you. I appreciate y'all having me on this platform. And definitely anytime, anywhere, just let me know.
Hey man, that's how you know someone been in Europe so long, when their last name on their handle ends with the itch.
It's something like that. In some aspect, it's got to be like that. It's funny, man. It's funny. I didn't realize all of that stuff. When I lived in the States prior to, I played with Greg Popovich. I didn't think about it.
Right.
Think about stuff until you actually get out there, and then you understand where the last name comes from, and where all those things come from, and just understanding how Europe has changed me. I think I'm glad to take it back to the question that you asked me first. Explaining my road to how I got to where I'm at. I think I'm glad I took the road I did. I think I'm glad that Popovich told me I needed to go overseas for a year and grow up, because who knows? Had I gone to the league, young, wild, and reckless, who knows where I'd be right now? Who knows where I'd be? I think I needed that time to grow up. I think I needed that time to get better and understand, what it really is. And then I was able to make the decision that, I could make a career doing what I love the most.
That's dope.
Again, thank you for being on the show with us, man. You're one of the 2 most athletic guys we have interviewed so far, between you and James White, both from the same area, so I guess it must be in the water. So again, man, thank you. Appreciate you being on the pod. Everyone, thank you for joining us for another episode of the EuroSteppin podcast. Please catch us on all platforms: Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube. That's EuroSteppin podcast. No G.
No G. Cause we got all the game.
Thought it was a joke, what they still playing games for? Holes in my denim, never holes in my game, no. You won't be just like me, they don't love you the same, no. The series 3-0, and I'm back home for game 4 right now. Say goodnight now, this is mine. Funny how them shots all at my head.